is the Lexus Sports Extra with Josh Moser, Mike DePasquale, Donovan Campbell, and Drew Rosenhaus.
Do you plan to explore acquiring Watson again this offseason?
I have no plans. It will be up to the head coach in terms of what he does with the quarterback. I have a lot of confidence in Tua, but it's really going to be dependent on the next head coach is and the direction that he wants to take the position.
Hi, everybody. Welcome inside to Lexus Sports Extra. I'm Josh Moser. The Dolphins distancing themselves from Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson this week following the firing of head coach Brian Flores. There you heard it from owner Stephen Ross saying that the decision on Tua and the franchise quarterback role will rest with the new head coach. Tua ranking 19th out of the regular 32 starting quarterbacks in the league in 2021. Tagovailoa throwing 16 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, playing in just 13 of the 17 games. For more on Tua and the Dolphins, we welcome our NFL insider, Drew Rosenhaus, to Lexus Sports Extra. Drew, the Dolphins are now saying that they no longer have interest in Deshaun Watson. You were a guy that you were all in on him coming to Miami. The team's saying that Watson was linked to Brian Flores. What's your take on what they're reporting?
I mean, this is a lot of information without the Dolphins putting their stamp on it, without them being quoted. It still seems very speculative to me, but it does make sense. Brian Flores is gone. Chris Greer's here. Deshaun Watson's not here. And Tua is here. So it does seem like Flores wanted Watson. Greer wanted Tua. Greer and Tua won.
Let's say that Tua stays. He's the quarterback for next year and for the future. How confident are you that he can lead this team to the playoffs?
Well, Josh, he's been good, but not great. And the question is, as a young quarterback going into his third year, can he improve? Can he be a winner? Can he be a difference maker? Personally, that's going to be a key decision for this organization to stick with the quarterback who's in the middle of the pack or try and get a star player. If the David Carr becomes available, if the Raiders want to trade him, what do? I think that's going to be very fascinating.
Say a free agent does become available. Do you think it's the right approach to stick with Tua?
Depends who the free agent is. If it's Carson Wentz, no. If it's another middle-of-the-road quarterback, I wouldn't. If it's a David Carr type of talent, yes, he's a clear upgrade over Tua. If it's Deshaun Watson, my opinion would be, yes, if I can get a franchise quarterback, I'm going to do that instead of sticking with a quarterback that is still unproven.
First, this team's got to get a head coach. They interviewed the Bills' offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator, Brian Dable, Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator. Who do you think is the best fit for the Fins right now?
I do think that they should hire a coach that can call plays and can develop a young quarterback. If they're all in with Tua, they need to get a guy like a Brian Dable or a Jim Caldwell. That's a quarterback coach, that's a play caller, that's an offensive mind that can groom a young quarterback. Those are two guys that make sense.
Drew, we appreciate the insight as always. We've got more later in the show. Hang on for a few more minutes.
Sure.
Thanks, Drew. What will the Dolphins do this offseason, everybody? I'm very curious to see what happens with tight end Mike Gesicki, who is now an unrestricted free agent. We'll keep you posted on all of those roster moves. Wildcard round today, NFC 2-7 matchup. The Bucs hosting the Eagles. First quarter, former St. Thomas star Giovanni Bernard punching it in from 2 yards out. That put Tampa Bay up 7-0. Fast forward to the third quarter, it's now a 3-score game. Tom Brady, the play action to a wide-open Rob Gronkowski. It is now 24-0 Buccaneers. Fourth quarter, Brady looking for more. He's got Mike Evans down the near sideline. This one all Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers start the run for back-to-back Super Bowls. 31-15 is the final.
It's that time of year where the margin of error is really slim, and my team was 7-2 in their last 9 games, playing really well, and we got off to a really good start, to kind of a commanding lead, and then glad we finished the way we did.
Definitely, like the way that the team was playing. Just overall, the team, we got confidence, we got stability. We know what it takes to win, and we just got to go out there and put that product out on the field in order to win games.
To the 3-6 matchup, Cowboys hosting the 49ers. Dallas offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, a candidate for the Dolphins head coaching gig. Dallas spotting San Fran 14. Second quarter, back come the Cowboys. Dak Prescott up top to SoFlo Pro Amari Cooper. Northwestern High stand up, back to a one-possession game. Third quarter, San Fran going back to the ground game. Look at the cutback by Deebo Samuel. Dallas on upset alert, 23-7. However, Cowboys would get it back to a one-possession game, under 2 to play, 4th and 11. Prescott pressured, heaves it deep down the field, and just can't quite connect with his receiver. Turnover on downs. Defense would hold. They force a punt. 12 seconds to play. Cowboys back on the ball. Prescott runs for the first down, and they just can't get together and spike it on time. That's how this one ends. The first upset of Wild Card weekend. San Fran wins a crazy one, 23-17.
Do you want to be running a Hail Mary play from the 50-yard line, or you want to be running 5 verticals from the 25-yard line? So that's the decision. It's the right decision. It's just like anything. The execution between us and the officiating spotting the ball obviously wasn't in tune. We shouldn't have had any problem getting the ball spotted there.
Don't necessarily know exactly why the hit happened, I guess. And I know he's going to come in and touch the ball. We can say, yeah, he needs to be closer to the ball or whatever, but in hindsight, just tough to accept.
We welcome Drew Rosenhaus back to the show. Games going on tonight. A wild finish in that Cowboys 49ers game. What was your reaction to that final play? That was crazy.
It wouldn't have been my call. I think running with a quarterback down the middle of the field where your best shot is to get 10 yards and then most likely run out the clock, I don't get that. Big upset for Dallas. They won 12 games, and to lose at home in the first round is disappointing for that franchise.
Yeah, curious to see what happens with Mike McCarthy. We're now hearing his name potentially being on the hot seat. But for you, Drew, watching these games on Wild Card weekend, how far away from the Dolphins finishing where they did 9-8, are they to these teams that are playing this weekend?
Well, I think number one, the Dolphins have to get better on offense. The defense is as good as almost any of these defenses that we're watching, and they've got a terrific group of players on the defensive side of the ball. That can't be said offensively. They certainly have to figure out all the guys that they need to re-sign. Emmanuel Ogbah's a free agent. Mike Gesicki's a free agent. They have to improve the offensive line. Those are the big moves that I would make. I'd go for a big play wideout, strengthen my offensive line, re-sign their top free agents.
Since you represent Emmanuel Ogbah, he had a great season. Does he want to stay, and how much will he command?
Well, those are two good questions that I can't answer. All I can tell you is that we'll listen to the Dolphins. He certainly would consider coming back. He hasn't ruled anything out. But when you go on a free agency, it is wide open. So we'll have to wait and see how that shakes out. Certainly there's mutual interest there on both sides, but that's about as far as I can get into that.
Drew, we appreciate you making the time as always. We'll see you in studio here soon. Best having you next
week.
We will keep you posted on all of those Dolphins roster moves. And this game just wrapping up. The second-seeded Chiefs hosting the Steelers. Here's a look at Patrick Mahomes looking to lead KC to 3 straight Super Bowl appearances. And just before the half, up 14-7, it's Mahomes to Travis Kelce for a 48-yard touchdown. Kansas City up big at the break. Could have taken a knee there. They go for the score. Third quarter, it's Mahomes to the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill. And this one, all KC, 42-21. Chiefs will host the Bills next week in that divisional round. Let's talk Heat for a quick minute. Miami expected to get back Bam Adebayo this week. The Star Center targeting Monday for his return. Bam officially questionable for tomorrow night's game against the Raptors, missing the last 6 weeks following that thumb surgery on his shooting hand.
I know how badly he wants to get back out there. Even on that last road trip, he was doing like 3-a-day workouts, just because he has so much, extra energy that he just wants to, move and sweat and do something to make sure that he's ready. He is ready. He's been able to work and basically do everything in an extended period of time.
For more on Bam and the Heat, we bring in our Heat insider, Ethan Skolnick. And Ethan, immediately, how much better does Bam make this team?
Well, it makes them a lot better. I mean, there's very few bigs in the league that are as versatile as Bam, offensively and defensively. There's no question, again, on defense, maybe 3 guys. But to me, the key thing with Bam is, does he come back aggressive? Because now we've seen with Bam out, they found other ways to play. If you could get that kind of aggression out of Bam with his level of skill, then the Heat have a superstar, not just a star. So I hope as he's been watching, he's been seeing, look, there are opportunities here for me to do more offensively than I've done previously.
We're also just past the halfway mark. Miami a game back of the Bulls for the top spot in the East, battling with the Nets. Zach LaVine's out for Chicago. Kevin Durant, he's expected to miss up to 6 weeks for Brooklyn. How important, Ethan, is this next stretch for the Heat leading up to the All-Star break?
Well, it's big because we've been waiting for this. I'm waiting for this for two reasons. One is the Heat played more road games than any other team in the league for the first half of the season. And also, they only had their big three together for 14 games. No team has had more adversity than the Heat have had this year. So now you're getting a bunch of home games. You're getting players back. That gives you a real opportunity, not just to kind of stay in the top three, but to make a run for that #1 seed.
Let's talk about Kyle Lowry. A lot of fans were really looking forward to seeing him play against his old team. Do you have any information on why he's out for personal reasons?
Not at the moment. I don't hear, from what I hear, I don't think this is going to be a long-term thing. But, you know, again, when it's personal reasons, we don't get a whole lot of information. We typically don't divulge a whole bunch of information either. I think that the Heat can overcome it. I don't expect it to be very long. Kyle's been great for them, but I think they can get by if he misses a couple of games.
I want to mention Tyler Hiro very quickly. Preseason, I thought he could be the sixth man of the year. At the halfway mark, how realistic is that award for him?
I think it's his award, honestly. I think the only thing that was keeping Tyler back was playing too many games in the starting lineup. But the rule for the NBA is as long as you play at least half your games as a sub, you're eligible for that award. I think eventually he's a starter for this team. But for this season, for this particular group, he's best off being a sixth man. And he's the sixth man of the year so far.
Thank you, Ethan. We've got more later in the show. Everyone at home, go follow the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Josh.
Let's go to hockey. Playing better than every team right now in the NHL are your Florida Panthers. The Cats winners of 8 of their last 9 since the COVID restart, and they find themselves with the best record in the league. Panthers now head on the road for the next 5 games, coming off a 9-2 victory over Columbus. The Cats are 21-3 at FLA Live, compared to just a 5-4-5 mark away from their own building.
We got to establish that road mentality of, you know, coming into rinks. It's not going to be easy every night, but I think that Dallas and Carolina road trip was big for us. We went 3-4, and when we got back at home, we still kept that mentality, and it's just carried on, and we got to keep this thing going with a big road trip.
Welcome back to Lexus Sports Extra. Everybody at home, say hello to our Donovan Campbell. D, this week you spent time with one local college standout. Hopes to hear his name called in this year's NFL draft.
Certainly, Josh.
Here's my trademark, and I'm going to keep it till it start falling out.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous there. I don't have that kind of hair. But according to most draft experts, it's not a matter if Price will be drafted, but a matter of which round.
Yeah, we're hearing second or third, so a day 2 pick, but incredibly the first FIU running back taken.
And you know that's my alma mater, so I'm definitely rooting for him.
I know, special right there. Thanks, Donovan. Let's go back to the Heat for a minute, everybody. The biggest surprise this season, the play of rookie sensation Omar Yertsevin. The Big Yurt, now a feature piece on the scouting report for opposing squads. It was another double-double against the 76ers. Yertsevin averaging 14 and 14 over the last 10 games. The first-year player put in the association on notice.
It was all about, you know, getting comfortable and that playing time, helping me evolve that part of the game and just everything clicking.
He belongs in this league. I mean, I think he's put the league on notice. I want him to, you know, keep that mentality, understanding just because Bam is back doesn't mean you don't go about everything the exact same way. And know that your time is going to come again.
We welcome Ethan Skolnick back to Lexus Sports Extra. And Ethan, now that Bam is expected to return, what does head coach Eric Spoelstra do with Omar Yertsevin?
I think it's going to be a night-to-night decision. I think a lot of it is going to be matchup-based. Remember, Yurt's been terrific lately, but they didn't anticipate this from him this season. When we look forward, really the Heat are only going to play 3 bigs, and that's going to be Bam, P.J. Tucker, and one of the other 2 guys, either Yertsevin or Dedmon. I think if you need a more physical player, maybe a more solid player, a veteran presence, it's Dedmon. You need a little bit more scoring. We saw what Yurt has done lately, particularly against Embiid, maybe a little bit more rebounding. You go to Yertsevin. But I think for a team that's trying to win a championship this year, Yertsevin is a luxury. Someone like Dedmon is a necessity.
Victor Oladipo and Markieff Morris are still nursing injuries. Where are they at in their recovery?
Well, I don't want to say much about Markieff because the last time I said something on Twitter, he got upset at me. We're talking about a neck/back injury, so these things are tricky. As far as Oladipo, we have consistently heard kind of mid to end of January towards beginning of February. I still think that's the timeline, but I think the Heat can be more patient now, make sure he's in the right shape because so many other guards have played well, because Strus and Vincent and Caleb Martin have stepped up. Oladipo is a guy you want for the playoffs. You certainly don't want to risk it too early.
That is our Heat insider, Ethan Skolnick from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Ethan, thank you so much. That was great. Time now for a quick commercial break. Sorry, everybody, we got to pay some bills. When Lexus Sports Extra returns, we head to the college hardwood, the Canes, surprising everyone in the ACC. We tell you why when we go to Coral Gables when we return. Welcome back, everyone. It is North Carolina Tuesday night at home for the Canes. Miami, winners of 6 of their last 7 in conference play. Jim Larinaga's team right now atop the ACC. How about it? A tough loss to rival Florida State does not overshadow what's been a phenomenal start to the season for Miami. It was a win at number 2 Duke. The Canes continue to show their ability to play big despite their lack of size.
I like being those, a smaller, undersized team that's just going out there playing as hard as you can. And I think those results have been, showing it's tough, it's a challenge, but, I like those and I'm up for it.
All heart, love it. Let's go Country Club in final round of the Sony Open in Hawaii. First playoff hole between Hideki Matsuyama and Russell Henley. This is Matsuyama from 277 yards out. Little cut, sticks it to 3 feet. What a shot. He would eagle in from there. Career PGA Tour victory number 8 from him. Remember, Matsuyama winning the Masters this past year, so great start in 2022. We are 5 minutes to midnight. However, we've got more show to come. We're back in 2 minutes with a big finish. Keep it live. Big finish time. Do you recognize the shirtless, bearded man in this photo? That is former Dolphins and Bills quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick in Buffalo at the Bills playoff game this weekend in 0 degrees weather. Looking at that just makes me cold. Whew. I did 6 seasons in Green Bay covering the Packers. I was in Denver for that, covering the Broncos and those cold weather games. Bone chilling. Ryan Fitzpatrick showing everyone he is an elite athlete. Also, Australian Open underway. Remember, no Novak Djokovic. Let's make it a great week, everybody. On behalf of Donovan, Drew, Ethan, and Mike, I'm Josh. Have a great night.